if he was not vocally fatigued /sick// whatever was going on, he would have snapped at the end of that song, and I would have said, "Pass the collection plate, please.
Yeah.
Pass the plate."
Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We are your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We use a vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take and our feedback on each contestant. On the Pitchy Podcast, we will never come for any contestants as a human being or anything mean or malicious. Now we do, from time to time, come off a little pitchy, which is sometimes based on our opinion, but we're always going to do it with love, kindness, and respect, because that is foundationally how we roll.
That's what we do.
That's
and with
right. That, let's jump right into season 27, the first night of knockouts. And what a night it was, Stephanie. Sorry, you all. Again, you hear a little bass in this voice. I just got done doing Stephanie, was it 6-week run of a production.
Is it over?
Yeah, it ended last night.
I didn't know this was the ending weekend or not.
Yeah, we closed last night.
We're going to have a side conversation about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to see how it went.
Yeah. So it was more than I could have ever hoped and dreamed for, pitchies, without giving you all too much information. But it was an incredible artistic experience. All right, so let's jump right in, because we got a ton to talk about. There was a ton of singing tonight.
Yeah.
I was even surprised, because like the last two that went, I wasn't paying attention. And I guess that's why I'm also a little late, because I thought the two gentlemen were going to be the last. But then I wasn't paying attention to the time, and I was like, oh, no, they do have time for one more.
Yeah.
And for me, I felt like they got that in a little quick, but they got it in nonetheless.
Yes.
So our first, definitely probably one of the best, because this was our leak. So Stephanie and I, again, I technically didn't have all weekend to marinate over it, but Stephanie sent this to me on Friday before my weekend got crazy. So I did have time to really, this is one of the few that Stephanie and I hopped on the horn, as they say, and talked about, because it was just so amazing. And that being B.D.ii and Kolby Cordell, bringing us just all the R&B. You have the 90s R&B that we love, and the 70s soul that we love as well. Just John Legend said, you know what, we bring in R&B tonight for you two. So in that, B.D. sang Back at One by Brian McKnight, and then Kolby came with Lately, originally done by Stevie Wonder, but he said, I'm going to do the Casey and JoJo version, which I'll never forget when they premiered on the Arsenio Hall show. I'm dating myself. Those many years ago, when I used to sneak, when I was very young, and I used to sneak and stay up late and watch Arsenio Hall, because the latest of the latest music artists used to be on the Arsenio Hall show, y'all, back in the day when Stephanie and I were pretty young. So let's jump right in. I knew it was going to be good, even though this was a leak, so we got a chance to see it. But these two were singing their faces off in the rehearsal. Like, you just knew it was going to be cool. Let me start with B.D. B.D. has this unique ability to effortlessly transition between his mix, meaning he puts a little headiness in his chest voice into his full out falsetto. And then he'll go into a full high tone belt. And it's just crazy if we're talking technical. I agree with John. John gave the note. Now to go back and watch the B-roll, and John gave the note that BD, you have to give us the bridge in your full chest voice. You have to
Yeah.
holler that bridge because
Yeah.
everybody waits for the "in the nick of time" back into the chorus. I said, I just love his laid back vibe. But listen to you all. If you really listen to what BD does so masterfully, sometimes laid back can come off as lazy singing.
Mm-hmm.
But BD, notice how his he is still on point, and he pronounces you understand, he enunciates every word he's singing, but
Yeah.
with a laid back vibe, which was just crazy
Mm-hmm.
masterful to me, because he's
Mm-hmm.
giving you laid back, but he's not giving you laid back pronunciation.
Right.
I love that Kelsey was jamming to the song, because Kelsey's pretty young. The fact that she knows the song is awesome, but it's a classic.
Yes.
I said this bridge is just another gear. That bridge was another gear for BD. Like
Mm-hmm.
when he did "In the Nick of Time," and it was just I thought it was. I wrote that. I said his "In the Nick of Time" was perfection. Leading back into the chorus, I said the Luther Vandross "Keep It Right There" of it all in BD. If I had one criticism for BD for future rounds, sorry, I leaked a little bit, but hey, we knew they both were going through. I mean, we
Better.
kind of got that in the leak by what Adam said, and we'll talk about that
Yes.
a little later.
Yeah.
Said I would actually, BD, I just want you to look at the camera just a little bit more.
Mm.
And because I want you as a human being to connect with your audience. When
Right.
people start voting, they're going to want to connect with you because your
That's right.
voice is already connected with the audience. It's 100% connected. So I want people to really fall in love with you, BD, and not just your voice, because you're a stand-up guy. You really are. And I'm very
Absolutely.
impressed. So I'll let
Absolutely.
Stephanie jump to BD, and then we'll both talk about Kolby.
Sounds good. He gave this song a younger feel. Like he still had a smoothness to his voice, but he also brought a youthfulness to this song. BD, I'm speaking of. He brought charisma to it. I think the youthfulness was in the slight melodic changes, at the slight runs at the end of some of the lines that kind of freshened up the song. He showed a lot of vulnerability and a lot of emotion. And the one thing that John said as well was that he wanted to feel some urgency within him singing the song. And BD did that. Like, this was not, when we talked on Friday, I said to you that this is a song that could come off very lazy because it's just kind of here. And that's not bad, but it might not translate on a singing competition depending on the way the vocalist sang the song and the urgency and effort and the communication style of which the artist would approach the song with. And I think that BD did a perfect job. There was a richness in his voice that was a little bit different than the original. A little bit, there was a more of a richness than what Brian has in his voice, and I loved that change of it too. As you would say, this was just some flat-footed singing. Like, this
Yeah, it
was
was
just
crazy.
good singing. So loved it,
See
BD.
how he just navigates straight through that bridge? That is a
Oh yeah.
hard bridge.
It is a hard bridge, and for him to sing it full voice, it's in the upper register of his voice. So when John suggested that, I was like, "Yo, this is not going to be easy because not only, well, it's not going to be easy because it is in a more upper part of his range, and then to go right into that falsetto, I just think that he executed it perfectly."
And I'm going to kind of transition into Kolby because they both did something tonight, which I think is you want to have an audience or someone like a paying audience member on the edge of their seat. Act like you're not going to be able to hit a note.
And this time could be good.
I know that's right.
No, because they both did it. I didn't know if he was going to hit that in the nick of time because he's such a laid back, smooth singer, but it went
Same.
to another gear. And then
Same.
Kolby, you could tell Kolby wasn't vocally fatigued. And speaking of someone who is right now, you can tell that Kolby was not vocally fatigued in the rehearsal. So Kolby already has rasp in his voice.
Right.
But when he started singing, "Lately I've had the strangest," I said, okay, this is either going to be an utter disaster or it's going to be magnificent.
Absolutely.
And it was the latter of the two. I said, right there, Kolby, don't you move. Right there. Stay right there. I said, I stay right there. Like, it was just so, like, how he started it. I said, don't you leave there. Just stay right there. Because it was perfection. Because you're supposed to kind of start that song a little soft and a little, like, reflective, right? Lately, I've had the strangest feeling. Like, it's supposed to be introspective, right? Listen to how he's using his rasp and probably a little vocal fatigue and his illness, and he's not pushing. Stephanie and I will tell you, as singers, when you are vocally fatigued, when you are tired, when you're sick, you tend to push a little bit more because you want to have the phonation, if we're talking technical, or the sound come out strong. Kolby said, I'm going to let it work for me. I'm never going to push and sound pushed. I said, which is very, very difficult to do. To me, that means his breath is connected. Because if your breath's connected, which all of us singers struggle with, even the best, when your breath is connected, you never have to push. And I said, trust and believe. It takes years to master something like what he was doing just naturally.
Truly.
I said that modulation was just insane. That always start to like, I just was like, I'm a man. I said, that's crazy. I said, he did it just like Casey and JoJo, but better.
Sure did.
Because there was like a little bit more rasp to it. I said, and I love his manipulation. This is where I'm cool with the manipulation of the melody. He was giving me some notes. You could tell he's a gospel singer, right? He was giving me notes that aren't written in this song, but they have such good ears. Gospel singers have such good ears because a lot of the things that they learn, a lot of them are not classically trained. A lot of them learn by ear. They have such good ears that they hear every note that's in the chord. Even notes you don't think are there, they hear it. And so I loved it. And did you hear that run he did at the end?
Oh, yes.
That run at the end. Adam looked, I told Stephanie like this last Saturday. I said, Adam gave that look. He said, I can't do that.
You can't do that.
That last goodbye. That last goodbye, I said, and I realized why Kolby is such a good singer. He has the purest vowels, meaning, and Kelsey even, I said, I'm glad I wrote this down. I said, I'm not crazy, because Kelsey even talked about how he sings on his vowels.
Yes.
Like, time could mean, not time could mean goodbye. No, time could mean goodbye, which again helps with when you're ill, under the weather, it helps with all of that. I said, ooh, I said, if you singing like that when you're fatigued, I said, he ain't going nowhere. Because the holleration that's about to come out when he's well, the holleration that's going to come out of that throat, we're going to be falling out, y'all. Get ready.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
There's a couple of these artists already, like tonight, it's just, let them sing in their genre. Let them get one worship song in.
Yeah.
People ain't going to be ready. And he's one of them. It's going to be, somebody said, Justin, you sound like John P. Key. I said, yeah, he does. Sounds just like him. I said, John is church. Yes. He knows. But we'll talk about the results in a second. Stephanie, What say you about Kolby?
Here's what I'll say. If he was not vocally fatigued / sick / whatever was going on, he would have snapped at the end of that song.
It'd been
He would
crazy.
have full on snapped. And I would have said, pass the collection plate, please.
Yeah.
Pass the plate. It was
Said,
insane.
I said, whoa.
He would have took it there.
He said, nah. I said, oh.
I think that him already having rasp in his voice was a wonderful benefit for this song, number one, and for him being under the weather in whatever way he was under the weather. Because if you didn't really know, then you couldn't really tell. The only way we knew that something was off is, James, you and I have more of an understanding, and so do the coaches. I don't think that the audience would have picked up on anything because he's already got that rasp in his throat. So it was just such a perfect song choice.
Accentuated, right? It was just
right. Last thing that I'll say, because anything else would be repeating you, is that I was so impressed with him as a vocalist that he did not shy away from the big notes. He did not shy away from the key change. That let me know that he knew what to do with his instrument in order to be able to make himself still sound good, even with whatever was going on with his voice. And it was so impressive. It was so impressive.
It also means, for those of you who are inspiring singers who love to sing, when a song is so in your body, Stephanie and I have an incredible singer who we both used to sing with, who used to tell me all the time, you better know a song so cold you could sing it half dead.
That's right.
You can sing it half dead. And honestly, I feel like lately we're so, and you know what? Shout out to Casey and JoJo, because if you listen to the original version of this song, Stevie does not sing it with any rasp. Casey and JoJo just turned this song upside down.
Yes.
The original is already insane because it's Stevie at his vocal best. But when Casey and JoJo brought the stank to it, brought the sweating deacon in 100-degree weather holleration sermon to this song, the song took on a whole nother meaning, in my opinion.
Sweating deacon.
Like,
that is the truth. No.
And so you gotta get, and that was like over 30 years ago when they did this version.
Absolutely.
Shout out to them for taking this song and making it their own and making a standard version of it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, Adam alluded to it. Stephanie and I knew. Adam didn't have to say anything. You could have bad hearing and know that both those gentlemen were going through. There was just no, and not only did they go through, they were going to get, one of them was going to be fought over. Yeah. Because both of these performances were so top level. Mm-hmm. And so B.D., John retained B.D., Kolby, Bublé, and Levine both hit the buttons for him, and I was like, pick at him.
That's what I said.
I wanted in my head, Stephanie, I was like, oh, he better pick at him, because it's going to be crazy with Kolby and Adam together. That is the second best choice behind John Legend for a voice like his.
Right. Yeah, and that's what happened.
Yep. Woo! What an opening! That was fire.
It was.
All right. So our next two singers were Grace Miller and Lucia, with a hyphenated last name. But Lucia, in my opinion, I hate to jump around, but Lucia, in my opinion, is such an incredible artist that she doesn't. You don't need to say her last name. She's just Lucia.
No, you got that right. You got that right.
So Grace, I got a little scared. I said, "Oh gosh, she's doing Rumors album."
No, she's doing Dreams.
Oh no, from the Rumors album.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I said she's doing the Stevie Nicks from the Rumors album. She's doing Dreams. It was one of the biggest hits from that album. the
Yeah.
album of cheating and whatever, when they just took it to the studio, right? So Grace Miller, I'll start with Grace. Grace, you're too good of an artist to do a Stevie Nicks imitation. I felt in the very beginning, I heard someone trying to do Stevie, and I felt Grace, as the song progressed, she pulled away from it and got a little bit more into her singing. But I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't want to hear a Stevie Nicks sounding voice singing Stevie
Right.
Nicks songs. I
Right.
said, Grace, just sing it in your voice because you can,
Right.
because you're that good of a singer. You don't
Right.
need to. And I understand. And Stephanie, I say many seasons, a few seasons ago, made a point. It's sometimes to someone's detriment if they know a song too well, or if somebody is too connected to a song.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like she had been singing this song all these years, that she was singing it like Stevie a bit.
Right.
But then as it went on, I said, "You're good enough." I said, to me though, it's at times it sounded like Grace Miller was a little under the pitch for some of her notes. And I
Yes,
was like,
I'd agree.
yeah, and because as Stephanie always says about Stevie Nicks songs, they are deceptively difficult.
Yes, they are.
Deceptively difficult. Because Stevie just sits there like this. No. Nope.
Right.
Nope. It's why she's Stevie Nicks, y'all. It
Yeah.
just comes out. That's just the voice. And that's
That's
just the delivery of the song.
that's right.
You turn on the radio, you hear Stevie Nicks' voice, you know whatever song it is.
You will know.
You will know it is Stevie Nicks on
You
any
will
song.
know.
And Stevie Nicks has collaborated with she's collaborated with R&B art. She's collaborated with a lot of different artists over the years.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
Stevie Nicks will always be a Stevie Nicks voice. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought Grace, in my opinion, Grace sold herself a little short, because I love Grace's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to hear more of it on this song, because I think if I did, we'd be having a different conversation. Stephanie.
Right. So this was, friends. If you are a Patreon, look for it later. Well, you should have it now, actually. If you are not on Patreon, what we do, once every episode, I will sit and watch a full performance, whether that's battle, knockout. So for knockout, I watched Grace and Lucia. Oh, when I heard that Grace was doing Stevie in Dreams, I said, oh no. I said, oh no. Oh no. And I said, oh
Oh,
no, because
no, too also, Stephanie. I wrote that in
only
my
be,
notes.
only because I honestly don't know how an artist is supposed to go about singing the song without singing it like Stevie Nicks. I really just don't. And I was so excited to hear Grace Miller again, because she was our first contestant in the blinds.
Mm-hmm.
But we hadn't heard her since then, because her battle was quick clipped. So I was very excited to hear her again. And what I felt from this performance was I still did not get a good representation of who and what her voice is, And like you said, at the back end of the song, I started feeling it a little bit more. It sounded less like Stevie and more of what I think Grace's sound is. What I
Mm-hmm.
did love about her performance is that she performed the song. She
She
gave
did.
the emotion and the angst of the song. And one of the coaches, I can't remember who, said her voice cut. And it did. Like, she has a voice that cuts. I think that her stage presence was beautiful. I do feel that there were some pitch issues, particularly at the beginning of the performance. But I loved her demeanor and her presence on the stage, and I really just wish that she would have picked a different song.
Yeah. Or had a different song picked for her, because we don't know
Well, they set it up to say
that they picked
that
the
the
song.
artist picked the song. We know that there is a caveat to that, but I wish that there was another song that she sang.
Right. Right. Yeah. I agree 100%, Stephanie. So you heard what I heard.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Lucia sang "Slow It Down." What's the original artist?
Benson Boone.
Vincent Boone. Okay.
Mm.
Deep in dirty waters full of hopeless doubt. Let me pull you out. Let me hold you now. Let me slow it down.
This is what I wrote, Stephanie. I'm gonna read to y'all pitches what I wrote.
Okay.
I said she can sing the newspaper. She could sing the dictionary. She could sing the most boring words and phrases, and trust and believe that her tone and her delivery will have you captivated every time.
Every time. Sing me the alphabet, Lucia. A, B, C, D, E, F,
Just
G.
every time the tone and delivery will have you transfixed.
Absolutely.
It is just her as an artist. It's just who she is. It can't be explained.
Mm-mm.
I love that the back half of the song turned into an up tempo because I was not familiar with the song. And Lucia again showed, oh, I can sing up tempo too.
That's right.
I'm just not your, what I call her, I'm just not your coffee shop holler singer. That's just not who I am.
That's right.
And I'm going to be, they say don't speak ill of the dead. They say never speak ill of the dead. I hear better than Amy Winehouse in some aspects of Lucia's voice. I mean, Elsie talked about a throwback, like when I start hearing, I know Amy's been gone for a while now, but when I hear somebody say, "You sound like a throwback Amy Winehouse," and I was like, "Throwback? Amy wasn't. It wasn't that long ago. I know it's like 20 years ago, but come on." Anyway, I said, she's still killing it. I said, it's just crazy what she can do. It's just crazy to be this young and to just again, like Adam said, you turn on the radio, like Stevie Nicks, you turn on the radio, Lucia, you know who it is.
You know it's her.
Instantaneously. It's just bananas. Stephanie?
I said, the first thing I wrote down was, she won. She won.
I mean,
she won.
Anyone that gets put up against her, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
It was like Shine last season. It's like
yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. Like, just put her through to the lives. Like, just straight on through to the lives. I thought it was interesting that during the rehearsal, there were no notes that Adam gave her. He allowed her to ask a question.
And Adam,
like, there were no notes.
Has a note.
He always got a note, and he had no notes. I thought that was very interesting. I thought that, to what you were saying about the Amy Winehouse of it all, tonight I also heard Adele. So you get an Adele mix with an Amy Winehouse, and you get an elevated version of an Amy Winehouse voice, and that's exactly what Lucia's voice is.
We're talking about Adele and Amy Winehouse in the same sentence in one voice. Ooh, that's crazy.
And to that point, she does not have a voice that I can critique. What's there to say? There's no critique.
That's what I said. It's standard. It's the standard. But there's no one else that has a voice like it.
Right.
Like no one. I think Adam said, no one sings like you. No one has ever been on this show that has sounded like you. Yep. There's only been a few over the seasons, the Kim Cruises, that no one has and no one will ever sound like them.
Can't.
Right?
Can't.
It's just it's crazy.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
All right, so Stephanie said it, but Lucia was through, and Grace Miller got sent home, unfortunately.
That is true. Yes.
Okay, so our next pairing, I thought this was an interesting pairing.
Me too.
But then I realized, they went on to explain, I forgot, both of them were, what's this, Chance? What's it called?
Yeah. Second Chance or...
Second Chance. And then
whatever it's called.
And then Tinika was...
Coach Replay. I'm sorry. Coach Replay.
And then Tinika was a save.
Yeah.
From last time. So we had Tinika and Wyatt, and Dan Kiernan. And Tinika... Tinika said, "Best of my love." She sang Best of My Love by The Emotions.
I like the way you make me feel about you, baby. And I want the whole wide world to see. Whoa, 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 whoa. You got my love. Best of my love.
I said, first note, just passing through.
Just passing through.
Just passing through.
Yeah.
First of all,
Guest artist.
Tanika looked like $1 million.
Slay queen. Slay queen.
The classy look of it all.
I slay. I slay.
It's mature. It's not showing all your skin. It's just classy.
I slay.
Like I said, superstar just passing through from top to bottom. And the fact that she's a superstar just passing through singing up tempo, because usually superstars passing through don't sing up tempos.
I know that's correct.
They get you with the powered ballads. But no, she did Best of My Love. And this song is sung by a group. The fact that she was able to not sound boring and sing this song the way she did. And I know Stephanie loves it because Tinika is actually a true alto. Like she truly, she is not she's got a crazy, incredible belt, but she's nobody's soprano. She's a true alto.
That's right.
I said that whoa, 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 whoa walk down she did. I said that was fire. I said she just looks like a star. She's just passing through, singing her hits. I said that was a superstar performance. I said every one of you coaches better stand up for this. It was bananas.
I know,
and she's the only one that got a 4-chair standing ovation tonight. I believe in the entire night. It was crazy. And just the spirit that precedes this woman, right? You can't, it's the unintangibles.
That's
it's
right.
just, it's, and Stephanie and I, it's what we believe in.
Yes.
You can't explain it. It's just an anointing over this woman. And
that's it.
She's just like Elsie said, I need to keep, I'm not going to give it away. I need to keep you because I need to go to church.
Yeah.
So she said, I need, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready, y'all. Don't let this woman get to lies. It's just going to be insane.
Oh my gosh.
We don't have a church service.
Listen.
We got some anointed singers this season.
We do. We do.
I can name 3 off the top of my head, and we haven't even talked about. We talked about 2 so far. We'll get to the third one in a minute.
We'll get to the third one.
Listen, know who I'm talking about. I'm sure.
I surely do.
Because you can't explain it.
No.
What is your take on Tinika?
Okay. Did you see the very end of the performance? She did a head tilt and then hit that last note. And did you hear the chords and the guitar riffs that band was playing? I said they about to shout. They was about to if they let them play for 2 more seconds, they would have been shouting. It would have been shouting. I was like, to the best of my love. She sang that thing down. She sang that thing down like it was. That's another example of a song just being so in you that it just comes out of you, just effortlessly. She made it look easy. The amount of holleration in that song, it's interesting because songs like this usually do not go over well. One, because this is a group song. Right. Hello, she's only one person. And
the BGVs aren't in yet. The BGVs are pre-recorded, but they're not in like they're going to be in future ones.
Exactly. And another thing about songs like this that are kind of just like songs that everybody knows, you got the best of anybody can sing. I don't know if I could find one person that can't sing along to that song, whether by commercial, radio, whatever. You've heard this song. Sometimes these are sleeper songs. But what Tinika did was make so much impact vocally. She hollered this thing down. She
Yeah.
sang her behind off, and she maximized the ranginess of this song. Any place that she could find to give holleration, to give run, to give depth, that's what she did. So not only is she a talented artist, she's a smart artist. And
Very smart. That was I love and I
she
love
said,
and I hope something she said foreshadows her future song choices, because she's like, I'm a 70s baby. So I love this music, and I love that I get to sing this music. So please, more of this, y'all. Please let Tinika sing more of this type of music. I just need to hear it.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes.
All right. So next was Dan, and he sang Impossible.
Yes.
And who was the artist for that?
Chantel.
Tell them all I know. Shouting from the rooftops, raining on the skyline. Oh, it is gone.
I said, Dan, sir, take your time with the low notes. They may not be there, but there are vocal ways to manipulate when you don't have your low notes. More talky, sing it rather than singing them. Talk them a little bit, which is a little difficult to do. But if you put less sing in it, but a little bit more talk in it, like talk on tone, if that makes sense, if you don't have your low notes.
And let me just say, while we're on that topic, just to accentuate your point, talking it is the way to go for this song, because the lyrics come very quickly, even though it's a slower part. Not really, the tempo stays the same, but the lyrics come quickly and the melody shifts drastically. So talking it instead of singing it would have been more. And I don't think that he did a bad job with it.
No.
I honestly think that he did better in the actual performance than what he did in rehearsal.
Correct.
To be honest. But it's like it is. It's a verse of death. It's a verse of death. Continue.
Yeah. And I said, I need this, and this is mean. You could tell I was writing in real time, because Stephanie, I wrote the note. I said, I need this song to go a little bit more to different places now. Little did I know the back half of the song was coming.
Oh, you didn't know this song?
No, I don't know this song. And then I said, is he okay? He looked like he got a little choked up.
He did.
Because he did.
He did.
Then snappage. He snapped. He snapped on the back half of that song. I said, and it was so good. I personally, Michael said he likes his vibrato. The vibrato was a little fast for me.
Okay.
Which to me just needs, when you have a voice as large as Dan's voice, you really, really need to work on your breath. And breath is also something that would help you with your low notes too, Dan.
Yeah.
I said, because what you did on the back half of this song, where you just let it all out on the stage, it's like you were, I don't know, taking over.
Yes. Released.
Maybe some of that
That's
Holy
what
Ghost
I felt.
like,
I felt like he was released.
Yeah.
Like he let some things go.
I said, really, really amazing stuff. Like he almost came back and snatched it away, because that back half was so electric.
Yes.
You couldn't take your eyes off of him. He was singing his face off. And most people struggle. His struggle was the softer parts. On the again, Stephanie will tell you, that's me all day long. When you have a big voice, the softer parts are what you really have to work on. The big parts, yeah, you got that. I said,
that's right.
But it was fire. It was his. I said, that was crazy.
It really was.
And I wrote, just great voice. He has a great voice.
He does. He
Stephanie?
does. First of all, Dan, what you know about throwing shoes? He talked about in rehearsal he's finna throw a shoe at Miss Tinika. I said, what you know about throwing shoes, Dan? You are boy, Dan. Just
Yeah.
for the fact that you know what a shoe throw means.
He said,
I
I
love
want
that.
to
He was
throw
like, but
my
there's
shoe.
too yeah, he was like, but there's too much expensive stuff around here. I said, I know that's right. Um, did you notice that in the verses, in the beginning of the song, there was a slight yodel into the entries
Yeah.
at the tops of his lines? I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's
Yeah.
that? I like that. I said, you gonna sing us some country, Dan? I was like, I like that little flip, that little yodel in your voice. Yeah, his tone. I was like, oh my god, the emotion of it all. After, I don't know what happened, but there was a shifting. There was, after he got emotional, there was a shift, and that shift produced a snap, and that snap. If that is what you sound like, sir, when you sing free, then I'm gonna need you to sing free more often
Yeah.
because the I cannot wait. I did not have time tonight. I cannot wait to go back and listen to particularly the back half of that performance
Mm,
because the stuff he was doing, I was like, holla, holla, holla. Is that the same brother that was
I
up there two
know.
seconds ago? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I was worried then because I was figuring that since there were only steals, there will only probably be 2 tonight, and the last one would probably come at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know what we gonna do because Miss Tinika need to stay, but Dan Snappage shows why he should stay too.
Oh,
It was
absolutely.
insane. It was
Yeah.
insane. Insane.
But nonetheless, one had to get picked. So
Yeah.
Kelsey wound up picking Tinika. And
Which I was shocked.
really?
And here's why here's why. Because she said either in B-roll or when she was giving her comments after their performance that she had a connection to Dan.
She did.
And I was just like, there we go. She gonna
Right.
pick Dan based off of that connection. But when she said she made her decision based off of what happened right then, I was like, ooh. I really was shocked
And we all
in the
know
best way.
in our faith, when something's for you, look at Tanika's path, y'all. When something's for her,
And she said this is the first one she's actually won. Like this,
correct?
she won this round. I said, yeah, you did, sis. Yeah, you
Correct.
did. Woo.
Correct. All right. So next we have Barry and Simone.
Yeah.
Simone, when I heard what she was singing, I said, that's a challenge.
Yes.
Simone
Yes.
sang one of the biggest, I guess, now power ballads in musical theater. It is in that of Sarah Bareilles' "She Used to Be Mine" from the musical Waitress.
Growing stronger each day till it finally reminds her to fight just a little to bring back the fire in her eyes. That's been gone, but it used to be mine.
Which,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah moonlights in pop, she moonlights in everything. And so that song crossed over to the pop world. It became a very monster big hit. But that is from her musical. And then, so I didn't know how Simone was going to attack this.
Mm-hmm.
But did she attack it? I
Did
said,
she?
first of all, she gave us that little yodel in the front end of the song.
Yes.
I said, Simone is dialed in from
Yes.
the top of this song all the way to the end. I said,
Yes.
her transition from chest to her mix, I said, Simone felt this. And
Yes,
we
she
all
did.
felt that she felt this. I
Yes.
said, this girl has a holler in her voice.
Yes, she does.
Because she was hollering the back half of
Yes, she
that
was.
song. I call it next gear stuff. I said, she went to another gear on this song.
That's right.
She's like, I thought she was going to like do the Celine bang her chest thing. Because I
Oh,
was like, whoa. Because she was like, the next up, I said, you better perform. I said
Yes.
she gave us all musical theater, and not bad musical theater. She gave us
Right.
just like real.
Yes.
I said, and she really told the story with her voice. And I felt like she painted a beautiful tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
That song is so good because there's an arc to it, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
beginning, there's a middle, and then there's a climax, and then there's an end. I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's just, and she painted a beautiful tapestry. I
Yes, she
said,
did.
this performance was as captivating as Sarah Bareilles wrote it. I was captivated by what Simone was doing.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just sitting there like this. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
then she's giving more. Oh my goodness. And she just and then the holler. It was just, I loved it. I didn't think it was too much.
Right.
Very interested to hear what you had to say, Stephanie, because I know you know this song.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what'd you think?
It was just so authentic. Like the
Yeah.
emotion that she was giving and the way she was telling the story of the song was just so honest. That's the best word I can use. There was the appropriate amount of angst, the appropriate amount of emotion. I didn't think that it was overacted at
Mm-mm.
all. Simone is one of those where don't let her fool you.
No.
You know, don't let her fool you because the throat is legit. The
She ain't
throat,
just Jane, another singer, right?
that's right. The throat
Don't
is
she ain't just
legit.
plain Jane.
No, not at
That's a
all.
voice. That's a
She is
voice. And honestly, if she wants to go to career in musical theater, I see it.
yeah. Other than repeating everything that you said, this is where I will finish. The ending of her performance was one of the singular most impactful and captivating things I have ever seen on this show.
Yeah.
The acapella of it all and then flipping into the falsetto, I was like,
And
then it ended.
she had that look that the song, like
I
that look,
was
you know.
I was like, "Oh my God." It was one of the singular most compelling things I have ever seen on this show. It
That's
was
why I was just like,
fantastic.
I said, she's giving the clinic, y'all, on this song,
Yes, she
on
is.
this very difficult song. We have
Yeah,
heard Titans sing this song. We've heard
right.
the likes of Sarah Bareilles, Shoshana Bean,
Mhm.
Jesse Mueller. Like, I'm talking
Mhm.
about the Titans of Broadway
Mhm.
sing this song and
Mhm.
sing it down. It's crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right. So, Barry, um,
Very.
wow. Barry
Wow.
took a big risk by singing Michael Bublé's I Haven't Met You Yet, which he wrote actually for his wife.
And I know someday that it'll all turn out. And you'll make me work so we can work to work it out. And I promise you, kid, I'll give so much more than I get. Yeah, I just haven't met you yet.
I said, I get it. I get it. And then without giving it away, I get it.
Mhm.
Barry just makes you, there's something about Barry that just gives you joy.
Come on, Joy. Joy.
He's just got a beautiful, humble
Spirit.
spirit. Yeah.
Mhm.
I said, listen
Joy.
how he sings his line so effortlessly.
Mhm.
It doesn't look like he's even trying. I said,
Right.
I feel like Barry's confidence is growing with every performance on this show. I
Mhm.
don't think he has any clue how good he is. I don't
Mm.
think he, because I just feel like, I said, come on, upper extension. Like, did you hear how
Yo.
I said, he has no idea. I said, with Barry, it just seems like he's breathing. Like the sounds that come out of him, just like he's just regularly breathing.
That's right.
It just looks effortless and it looks like art.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
And there is a humbleness
Mhm.
about this young man singing
Yeah.
and an understated brilliance.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Does Barry come with the bells and whistles? Does he come with the runs? Does he come with no, Barry just
Nope.
gives you joy when he sings.
Joy.
Stephanie.
When he got into that upper register, it was absolutely glorious because as well as I know that song, I wasn't ready for that.
Right.
I was just like, oh yeah, that's where the song goes. And oh my God, he is just murdering the song in the best way, in the best way, in the best way. And I love that he picked a more up-tempo, more joyful song to
Yeah.
highlight just his spirit. And I love the courage that it took to pick this song and to do it in front of his coach and in front of everybody. There's something that I'm going to elaborate on in the Patreon, but for main feed, I will say this. I need the coaches to understand Barry and not try to define him and not try to change him. That's what I need for them to do.
Right on the money.
Because I see something in Barry that is familiar. And I just want the coaches to not change him, to not try to define him, to not alter him, but to have more of an approach of understanding. And once they do that, I think that they will understand what they see, his approach, his joy. I think they will just understand him a bit more rather than not compelling, but kind of asking him to be a little bit different than what he is. So, that's my take on Barry.
So, Stephanie, who won this battle?
So, Barry won this battle.
Yeah. Barry the beautiful. Just beautiful spirit.
Yes, absolutely.
You can tell, like he's like all of his friends say Barry's my best friend. Like he's that type of dude.
Right. I know that's right.
All of them
Absolutely.
say Barry's my best friend. Yeah. Just
absolutely.
such a good guy. All right. So our next two were two gentlemen. We had Ethan, who sang I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
No, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. Yeah. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
And then we had Trevon, who sang Red Dirt Road by Brooks and Dunn.
That's where I drank my first beer. That's where I found Jesus. Where I wrecked my first car. I tore it all to pieces.
And this was my third voice, Ethan. Stephanie, that's why I said I know you know who I'm talking about. You just can't explain it. You just can't explain it. This young, unassuming looking dude, when he opens his mouth, you see the face of God. Like it's just that incredible. I said, I love the stripped down version of this song. I need this version in the song. I think he owns this song now. Tom Petty has recently passed in the past few years. So Tom, I know you're beyond the grave, but I think this is Ethan's song. And I think if Tom was still alive, he'd hand it over because it was, I said, Ethan is another one of those singers where it just looks like he's breathing.
That's right.
He's so connected to every song he sings.
That's right.
It's just effortless, scary, and I wrote scary like 5 times. I wrote scary, scary, scary storytelling voice. I said, and what is it? And then I just started. Then I put on my big ears and I said, listen closely, James. What is it? The nuances. It's the little nuances that Ethan does.
Yeah.
That is the secret to his sauce. That is the secret behind his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a breath or a flip or a yodel or just, but it's also slight.
Yeah.
That you don't, unless you have trained ears, you may not even notice it. But if you go back and we bring your attention to it, you'll notice it. It is a nuance.
Right.
As I said, it's the little things that make that make it so powerful. Like, because he's
right.
doing these little things and they're coming off so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And he put a little flip in his voice that I didn't know he had. That leads me to
Sure did.
believe that Ethan can sing in other styles.
Yes.
So he ain't no one trick pony. You give Ethan an R&B song, watch what happens. Watch. Because what Ethan will do is he'll strip it down and turn it into an acoustic.
Oh God, he sure will.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
All right, what's your take on Ethan?
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
by your reaction,
oh my
you
gosh.
went to church on that voice.
I did. This was a full out worship song. That's how he sang it. That was his approach. And lyrically, it was so fitting. This song is what we all need to be listening to right now. I believed every word that came out of this young man's throat. The way he said down. Oh, I was just like, oh, say it again. Jesus, say it again.
He took Adam's advice too, because you notice he stopped playing the guitar on the back half of the song.
I sure did. Ethan is another one that is very unassuming, and don't let him fool you. Because what I most appreciated about his vocal tonight was the confidence and the authority in which he sang that song. Like he sang that song over us, whether in the audience that he was in front of and all of us on TV. He sang that thing over us.
He did.
And I almost, if I wasn't taking notes, the next time I will be listening to this, I will almost feel as if that I'm in a place of worship, because that's where he took me. It was just beautiful. Did you hear, just to get kind of technical, not technical, but just talking about the flat out vocal, did you hear how high he started in his full voice? I was like, wait, so where you're starting? You're starting this high?
It's just another one of those. It's just, you can't explain it, and it's like he's breathing.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
Wow.
I don't know what else to say. It was so good.
I was really upset, and this is why I thought they were the last, because to pair Ethan and Trevon up together, when as good as we know Trevon is, I said he is ready. Trevon, second he opens his mouth, I said, y'all, he is ready. I said, just look at him. I said, he's so young, but when I close my eyes, I see someone who's been on the honky-tonk circuit for years. Making a solid living, like with a mortgage and stuff. I said, he's got probably 10, 15 more years before he's thinking about mortgage.
That's right.
It's just ridiculous. And then I put, I said, you better Garth Brooks that stage, young man. Do you see how he ran down there? You look just like Garth when he stomped back in the 90s. Remember when Garth would just run that stage? He looked like Garth. I said, Garth Brooks the stage, sir.
That's right.
I said, again, I see why the judges are just shaking their head when it comes to him. You can't explain him being 17 and just that season. He's another one just passing through that season of a performer. Right. I said, he's so good. Right. He's so young. It's just crazy.
Right.
Crazy. You can't explain the maturity in his singing and his performance.
Mm-hmm. I think that they've been listening to us, James, because I wrote down youthful exuberance. And why did them coaches use the same expression? I was like, they've been listening to us.
Come on, coaches, get on our Patreon. Y'all can afford $5 a month.
I know that's right. No, we don't want them in our Patreon because we be talking about them. So we don't want them there. But I just think that even beyond his incredibly experienced sounding voice, his personality just radiates through the screen. Like in the B-roll, he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I make it through. I might have 1 or 2 root beers. I was like, I know that's right, Travis.
So earnest. I love it.
Just, the running around the stage and stuff. And if you notice, after he ran the stage, his vocal did not suffer. I say,
Never.
yeah, that is that youth working for him because he don't sound a bit out of breath. He just sounded confident. He's just like you said. It sounded like this was not his first rodeo. He's been doing this for years.
Trevon, like he's the type of person, his voice takes you, like you're looking doing, I'm talking to you, Stephanie, blah, 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 blah. When you start singing, it's like, whoa.
Exactly.
You just like, you get yanked.
That's right. That's right.
So this one was hard for me, Steph. This one was hard for me because I wasn't paying attention to the time. So what happened, Stephanie?
Ooh, so this was not the last
No.
performance. So that meant that somebody was probably going to go home because they were probably going to leave the save or the steal, excuse me, for the last performance, which is, spoiler, what happened. I was really shocked. Not because of one performance being better than the other, but the narrative that was created kind of about Adam and country singers. So in the end,
Yeah.
Adam chose Ethan to go through, and Trevon unfortunately went home.
Yeah,
I thought
strategically. I thought strategically he was going to pick Trevon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was really shocked, but I'm not mad though.
He had to pick Ethan. He had to.
He was incredible. He was incredible.
Yeah, so good. All right, so our final knockout of the night was Iris and Angie. And I don't remember, if I'm honest, I don't remember Angie too well.
Oh, I do.
Until she opened her mouth. I remember Iris. And then when I heard Jolene, I said, oh. But then I know because my wife loves Ray LaMontagne. Like that's one of her favorite singers. So I know this version of Joe. It's not version. I know the song called Jolene.
Yeah.
Right?
Still don't know what love is. Still don't know what love is. Jolene.
And then I was like, okay, Iris is doing this for her grandfather who struggled with substance abuse and literally was succumbed to it.
Yeah.
You don't often hear of grandparents struggling with substance abuse.
That's
so
true.
It's like Iris has a story, y'all.
Yes.
I said Iris has the same storytelling quality in her voice as the other as Lucia. Like it's that same quality of the second Iris starts singing, you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Not many people sound like you.
That's right.
And you don't sound like many people. I said, but Iris has a voice. It reminds me of a voice, Stephanie, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But then I said, well, maybe Iris is just that good that it's Iris who reminds me of Iris.
It's not Miley?
Yes.
Because that's what they were saying. It's Miley. Okay. It sounds like Miley.
I did hear, but only aspects of Miley.
Okay.
Only some of the some of the smokiness or raspiness.
It's the smoke. It's the smoke. It's not the timbre. It's the smoke.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. I said the fact that she could sing like that sitting down, I was like, what? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I said, okay, yeah, I did write that. I said she does have a Miley kind of quality to her voice.
Right.
I said, I love it. The fact that she also knows what type of artist that she wants to be at 19 is crazy because she's 19, but she has a voice that's been through a lot.
Yeah.
That's 60.
Yeah.
65 maybe.
Yeah.
I said, did you hear that holler in the back half of that song?
Sure did.
It was hollering.
Sure did.
One of the things that, and this, I learned this in theater years ago when I took drama classes in high school, that if you're repeating a word, make sure you say it, you give the inflection of it every time. Every time she said Jolene on the back half of that song, it was a different, and it was like she was saying all new words.
Yes.
But she was saying the same word.
Yes.
That is an artist.
Yes.
That is someone who really pays attention to the detail when they're learning a song.
Yes.
To say, okay, there's a reason why he wrote this song and wrote Jolene the name so many times in the song to
Come
repeat.
on. That's right.
And Iris did it so incredibly. I felt it was like I felt like she was saying a new word every time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Great description. I had a similar thought as far as like the come on and sit and sing this song.
Right.
But she was still giving energy because she would stomp. She would stomp that boot. And I was like, oh, tell the story, sis. Stomp it out. Stomp it out. I think that it was beautiful when she got emotional because, as we said, this song has meaning. But I thought that she recovered well. Sometimes when people get emotional, they do not recover well. So I thought that she did a really good job recovering.
True.
And yeah, she's just got the coolest breaks in her voice, the coolest crackle in her voice.
Sitting freaking
down. She's just so authentic. And yes, the holleration at the back end. She's another one kind of like Dan. Once the emotion came, the freedom came, and there was just like a holleration at the back end of the song. So it was great. It was great.
Okay. So our final performance of the night was Angie, and she sang Dirt Cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's what she said, yes, when I got down on one knee. Oh, as long as all this is here, why the hell would I ever leave?
First note, I love her vibrato.
Ooh, come through.
I said, that's low country. That's soul country. That's R&B country. I just made up genres for her. But her vibrato is so fire.
It is
It
sick.
almost is like a slow down. And it's just crazy. You don't hear vibratos like this too often. I said, I just love it. I said, her tone. I said, the crazy is that she's got that more soulful R&B vibrato. I said, but her tone is 100% country.
No, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
100% country. But she's got that. I can't even do it. I said, I do have one critique for Angie, and it's very small. I was losing a lot of her words.
I was too. Yes.
Okay. Then it wasn't just okay.
No, it wasn't just you.
Yeah. I was losing a lot of her words because I know she was singing about it because I got the words during the B-roll when Kelsey broke down and they kind of had a moment together. I said, but during the performance, I was losing some of the. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your voice or what you know as the best singing voice to emote a song and get words out.
Right.
Because it's important that your audience always knows what you're singing about.
Yeah.
I said the way she ended that song was fire. I was like,
she
this is going to be impossible. Because Angie brought it. Stephanie.
Yes, she did. She preached the back end. She preached that whole song, let me just tell you. And like you said, I was losing some of the words at the beginning. By the end, I was understanding and I understood the story. And I was like, this is deep. Like, come on, Mr. Cody Johnson, you wrote yourself a song, sir. Okay. These are the quirky things that I pick up on that let me know that a singer is a singer. The way she was handling her mic. There was different, her mic handle. I was like, you've done this before, Miss Angie. I can say you're a pro. This is not your first stage, ma'am.
I thought she's a working musician in Nashville.
I think she might be. I'm not. I'm not completely sure, but from the way she was handling that mic, I'd believe it. I was like, I see you. It was just so impactful. It was another artist that just preached. She preached the song and she told the story of the song, and it was. I mean, it brought Kelsey to tears for, obvious reasons and for her own personal reasons, having had her dog be sick. And there's a line in the song talking about you know,
Oh, yeah.
talking about that
Woo!
similar situation. So, yeah.
This was good.
Mm-hmm.
Angie was a sneak attack for me. I didn't see it coming.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was
I
ready for her.
knew what Iris was gonna bring, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what Angie was gonna bring. So what were
Mm-hmm.
the results, Stephanie?
So in the end, Kelsey ended up choosing Iris to move through. Angie was saying her thank yous and goodbyes was almost off the stage, and Mr. Buble said bop. And so now
She had
she
to.
is on Team Buble. Mm-hmm.
Perfect switch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Perfect
yeah. Oh
switch.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Buble is probably going to say, "Hey, have you ever tried singing the standards?"
She gonna preach them standards.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
It is.
Crazy. All right, y'all. I am exhausted with a capital EX, and I'm gonna let Stephanie close you all out. So, Stephanie, tell the pitchies what they need to hear.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. And while you are there, please rate and review, particularly on Apple Podcasts, so more friends can find us. And then why don't you flip on over to YouTube and search for The Pitchy Podcast. Hit that subscribe button to know when we drop a new video. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Pitchy Podcast. And we are also on Blue Sky at thepitchypodcast.bsky.social for new episode alerts, episode clips, so much more. Lastly, as we've alluded to in the main episode, we are on Patreon and we save the goods for our Patreon patrons. So if you would like exclusive content, if you'd like to watch me watch part of an episode live and get my real-time reactions, if you want additional bonus content to this main feed, and so much more, $5. Come join us on Patreon.
All right. Well, we got another round of knockouts, and by the previews, looks like it's going to be another doozy.
Yes, and I think it's going to be our last knockout episode because there's only 2 more steals.
Correct.
I don't know how they can stretch that out into any more than 1 more episode. So, but there's a warning that might mean that we get some quick clips.
Right. That's true. That sucks. All right. Nonetheless, see y'all next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.